Welcome back to the International Sports Report. I'm Lindsay O'Connor, along with Pete Irvin. Joining us in studio is Tim Hauraney, and of course he's the former champ driver and of course the motorsports specialist for TSN.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Isn't that a good intro?
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Solid.
Solid. But anyway, the Formula One Grand Prix in Montreal, and it's all underway. It's going to be on TSN today, but it's a popular one with the drivers. You always read the stories that they love coming to Montreal. Most likely it reminds them of Europe in a small way, but it's a good track, and they seem to get the crowds there.
They always get a good turnout for Montreal, and always drivers love coming to Montreal, simply like you said, because it's a European feel. The people are great. The fans are great when you're there. Also, the track is a lot of fun. It really reminds drivers of a street circuit. Even though it's a road course, there's a lot of really tough chicanes, and it's a long straightaway. So cars with more horsepower or better engines can always get a great straight line speed when they're coming down to the final chicane and getting it and pointing the car straight at the wall of champions. And you're really trying to play chicken with that wall of champions at the end when you're really on a hot lap to try and get the pole. But yeah, drivers love the circuit, and it's going to be on the calendar now for another 10 years since they re-upped the contract.
Yeah, they just re-signed. Just tell me, because I'm just a bit confused about the Montreal Grand Prix. It's not a lot of advertising on TV or radio about the Grand Prix, but they seem to get the crowd. Are they advertising to other markets that know that they're still going to get a pretty good crowd?
Whenever the Montreal or the Canadian Grand Prix happens, it always has a strong turnout. You're getting around 300,000 to 400,000 fans for the weekend. People come from all around Canada and North America just to come to watch Formula One, because there's only 2 Formula One races in North America now, and it's very hard for people to see Formula One other than on TV who live in the States or in Canada. That being said, though, Formula One does an okay job at promoting the Canadian Grand Prix. I believe they could do a better job. I really do think they need to utilize social media now. I don't think they do enough on Twitter and on Facebook. That's my personal opinion.
No, I agree with you.
But they could do a little bit more. They could be a little more active on YouTube and trying to get a little bit more of driver exposure out there. But that being said, when the show is on, it's on. They do a great job. I know a lot of fans always have fun whenever the Grand Prix is in town.
I know a lot of people go from Toronto, so it is a good weekend in Montreal. Let's have a look at the starting grid for today's race. Of course, Rosberg on the front. Hamilton didn't get the pole, did he?
No, he didn't. Hamilton was fast all weekend. He led pretty much all practices except for the FP1 on Friday. Rosberg laid down 2 of the fastest laps I think I've ever seen a driver really turn in Montreal at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. He was on it. He never made a mistake. He brushed the walls on his last 2 qualifying laps. He really left it out there, which is something that Hamilton tried to do. He made a mistake, unfortunately, and didn't get the pole. But Rosberg was on it. I remember I was watching it on TV, and I'm like, oh my God, he's going to hit the wall. But no, he was fantastic. It's going to be a good event.
Yeah, Mercedes doing well, aren't they?
Oh, they're unbelievable. The power units that's in the Mercedes right now are above and beyond what everyone else is running. If you look at like the Williams of Felipe Massa and Valtteri Bottas, they've been smoking the straight line speeds at 333 kilometers an hour, 334 kilometers an hour. So the Williams are going to be strong as well today for the race. It's going to be exciting. Massa and Bottas, I think, are in prime position to maybe score a podium today.
Yeah, and Vettel's in 3rd position on the pole. And you're right, Massa's in 5th position. So they're in striking distance.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they can do it. Alonso's 7th on the pole. But, Hamilton, he's having such a great season. He's got a great car too.
Oh, Hamilton has been driving well. And that's where this dynamic runs, where you have Rosberg and both Hamilton fighting each other for the pole, fighting each other for the championship. The championship has been going back and forth. Both drivers are really doing a great job of just trying to capitalize on who is going to be the number one driver at Mercedes. And I think then you're going to see over the next 3 races, you're going to see who is going to be that driver. Is it going to be Rosberg or is it going to be Hamilton? I think a lot has to do with what happens today during the race. There's not going to be much separating them on the track. You know, I remember back in Monaco, they were separated by 0.7 of a second for most of the race.
They got 2 good drivers. I mean, the team has got to decide who's the number one, but they're not putting restrictions on them at the moment, are they?
No, not at all, which is good, though. And that's good for the sport. You know, you remember back in the Michael Schumacher days when Rubens Rubens Barrichello would be leading and you'd have to move over for Schumacher. You know, team orders and stuff they're out the window now, and Formula One will find teams if there are team orders. So it's great, though, that they're leaving it into the driver's hands.
What's the update on Michael Schumacher?
He's still, from last I read and last I heard, he's still in a coma. He's been recovering as well as you can. It's tough. Like that's a tough thing. He's such a great champion, and to have something like that happen, it's a shame, really, but you just got to keep on hoping that he's going to be okay and pull through.
Do you think he can recover from this?
I don't know. That's really
one,
it's very difficult. He's been in a coma for what now, since December. So that's it is very difficult. Who knows if he does come back? I wonder if you'll get the same Michael Schumacher as you had before. I'm doubtful, which is sad. But at the end of the day, he was a good guy. I remember meeting him in Montreal, and he gave me some strong advices. And I think as a driver, when you look up to someone like that, I think that's all you can really remember from the guy, that he was such a class act and a great person.
Yeah, he was good for Formula One, that's for sure. Let's talk about the Indy. Of course, Ed Carpenter, Chevrolet, were first and second, and Will Power there, he's still hanging in there, and Will Power, the way he drives, but he must have knocked a few off the track. But bring us up to date.
Yeah, I did. You're a big Will Power fan, though, aren't you? I like that, though. He's a good guy.
I like him because he's aggressive, and he calls a spade a shovel.
Yeah, that's true, though. He does. Yeah. No, Power has been driving the wheels off of his Team Penske Verizon car. That they've been doing a great job, but great for Ed Carpenter winning yesterday. He hasn't won in an oval in it seems like forever. A big thing about Ed Carpenter is he splits his seat time with Mike Conway. So when Mike Conway comes in, Mike Conway drives the road and street circuits, and then Ed, he comes in, he drives the ovals and the super speedways. So very smooth when he's on an oval. Big thing for Ed is a good friend of mine, Lee Bentham, who coaches Ed. I was talking to him yesterday, and he was just saying the team has done a great job of just really pacing him.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to see Will Power up there because he's in the points there. Scott Dixon, 5th position, finished, not having really a great season compared to his other seasons, but he's up there.
It's okay, though, but if you remember from last year, Dixon, he was further back in the field coming into July, and then once Toronto hit, he just started winning left, right, and center. And the big thing with Dixon is he's so consistent. He's such a fast driver that I'm always going to believe that he's going to be there in the end to win the championship. You can never count Scott Dixon out of not winning this championship.
Okay, and Toronto boy James Hinchcliffe in 15th position. Before we go, let's just talk about who's going to win the Montreal Grand Prix today. I'm going to put you right there. What's your prediction?
Put me on the spot. Yep. Well, I think Nico Rosberg and Hamilton are going to battle it out first and second. I really do think there's going to be a lot of passing for the lead in this race coming up later this afternoon. I think Rosberg's going to take it at the end, but I believe it's going to be very close.
Yeah, indeed. And of course, don't forget, folks, to watch it on TSN TV. It'll be coming up this afternoon. Hey, Tim, thanks for being on the show. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on. I really do appreciate it.